That's the guy what? Oh, that's right, yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome to day 44. Do I need you to put some headphones on? No? You're good. As long as the game's not super loud. Yeah, you're good. Anyway, day 44 out of possibly 167 of Naruto-ness. Welcome. I hope you all are having a fabulous time. Whatever you're doing, I hope it's going fabulously. And yeah, we're just gonna, like, 43 seconds in, we're just bang straight into it. No mucking around here. After my, like, 80... I think I got to, like, 84 or something. I got a super... yeah, 84 I think, by the last time. After that, I'm on the bug of, doing heaps and heaps and heaps of fights in 2 hours. So we're getting straight into that, and while that's happening, while Nick is doing this thing, I have with me the roll call of 2 glasses of water, and you're probably wondering, 2 glasses of water, what happened to the cup of tea? Well, fret not, the cup of tea is right here. Fabulous. Alright. And that is the roll call for today. I was thinking things, so I probably need a third glass of water. No, I don't need a third glass of water. What do I need? Should be good. Oh my goodness, that's the 3rd time in this fight I fell for that. Lovely. I'm gonna try and get, hopefully 59 counts is probably the lowest. Hopefully the lowest I do today, and if I scan down my list of upcoming fights, I think the kinds of characters I've got, I think that's definitely achievable being within 60 counts. Especially if I make sure I pick the right alternate and the right normal jutsu as well. Because 5-all jutsu seems to trump everything else, or all the 5-all jutsu equivalents seems to trump everything else in terms of speed and counter as well. Even though another dragon thingamabob is basically like 3 5-alls in one, but actually the chances of it is very slim. Yeah. Lovely. But no, I hope you're all doing fabulously. I actually have life updates. Oh my goodness. For like the first time in like ages, I actually have like interesting things to talk about. Oh my goodness. Okay, where do I begin? Where do I begin? I don't really know where to begin. I've got so many. And I say by so many, I mean like 2 things of interest. Lovely. So first thing of interest is I sat a full New Zealand driver's license test today and passed. First time, passed. But also was kind of helpful because I think that, well, we reckon I got the same instructor that the boy got when he sat his one, and he's really lovely, so he's super lovely and chill, and that probably was about 50% of it, was that we just had a really chill instructor. But still, I'm very happy. Honestly, this whole morning, well actually no, it even just like starts, it's all starts last night. So was it last night I booked it? Yeah, night before. Tuesday night, I booked my driver's license because I actually needed to do it because next week I go on a work trip and I need a rental car, and you have to have your full license to be able to rent a rental car, and if I don't get this rental car, I'm stuffed. It'll be very, very bad. I need to get it. So I had to book it, and I was like, freaking out because I'm like, oh gosh, am I gonna like muck it up? You know, like I don't look in my mirrors enough. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be the thing that I fail on. It's gonna be just an shit show. Left, right, excuse my language. Left, right, and center. It's just gonna be awful, awful, awful. Oh my goodness, but I have to do it. Like I have to do it. So I book it on Tuesday night. So then I'm stressing, ball stress. And then what? And then so last night, I had 2 dreams. Well, I can remember like 3 dreams, but I had 2 specific dreams. One dream, first dream is, I took the test. It was like 15 minutes long, this whole dream. It was me going, you know, all this test route, because I had actually seen videos. There's actually on YouTube, like some guy drove the test, like the routes that the test will take you. So like, and even like the different routes based on like where you're taking it as well. It's amazing. Thank you, Lord and Savior. So I was watching that. So my dream was based on obviously the videos that I watched. And then so you know, so I had a dream. I took the test and I failed. I did something. I can't remember what it was. I did something bad, but anyway. So I failed, and then I was like crying and all this sort of thing. And then so that was one dream, and then I had another like interim dream about some other random thing. And then I had a third dream, and this dream I took the test again, but for some reason I ended up in like some random like warehouse shopping mall kind of place, and I was like parked on the pedestrian parking, but apparently that was like, and some guy was like, why are you parking here? I'm like, I don't know, but then apparently that was actually the end of the, like, that was actually where you're meant to end the test, so that was confusing. Yeah, so that was really super confusing. But then we went inside, and then the chick's like, oh, you had a critical error, and it was to do with grief, or like giving grief, or it was some weird thing. And the way she explained it was basically like if you're at the traffic, you know, if you're waiting at an intersection and you're like coming across really impatient, you're like huffing and puffing and blah blah blah, then that's like an error on your test or something. So I was, you know, so I got that, but so then I thought that she'd implied that I had failed, because also like the people that like had organised the test or something, or like the people who came up with the criteria was like the same work that like the place where my boy works, which is not, has got absolutely nothing to do with driving. And they'd like, and then like the thing that they used to measure the test was like a tub of ice cream that was also made by this company, which is like a meat production company, and there was like a tub of ice cream that they like used to measure the test, which was weird. But anyway, long story short, I'm like, wait, did I fail? She's like, oh no, you passed. And I'm like, oh no. And I started crying, but then I realized that we were at this warehouse place that was like 20 minutes away from the testing station. So then I had to try and like figure out a way to actually get back to the testing station, and meanwhile she'd already start the test of something else. What? Oh, by the time I finish this, it tips to be rare. Fabulous. Thank you. Yeah, so then she'd already started testing someone else, so I had to make my way back, but then my dream ended anyway. So anyway, long story short, after all that, I wake up. My heart is pounding. Like, I wake up and I'm like yeah, it might be the high blood pressure, it might be the my lack of inner gut health. But my heart was pounding. Like, it was pounding. I felt ill. Like, I felt like the kind of nausea that you get from nerves. Felt like that. I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to do this. Today's the day. Thank you. The boy knows how to season chicken. He ain't no white boy, and that's how he knows how to season chicken. God damn. So anyway, So yes, I woke up, I was feeling ill, I was feeling this all different kinds of ways. I was, you know, I was like, I have to do this today. I gotta do this or else my work trip next week is screwed. And, you know, because I'm like, I think, no, not the, the people who drive cars in the office, I'm the only one without their fault. I think. Anyway, so, you know, go to work. Boy's like, oh, I made you a smoothie for breakfast. I'm like, I can't eat, like if I eat anything, I will. So, okay, it will come up. And then I'm going to work early, and I was looking at like, I was on Reddit like, all of the tips and tricks, you know, like tips for passing New Zealand full driver's test. And I was reading everything, and they're like, oh my god, like you have to check your mirrors all like every 3 seconds. And someone's like, my friend failed because they were coming down a hill and they went like 2 k's over the speed limit for like a split second, and then they got automatic fail. And my friend did this and it was fail, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. And then someone's like, oh my god, saying what the hazards were was so hard. And I'm like, oh god, this is where it all ends. Because technically, I would, like it, even if I had failed, I would have been able to pay for another time slot and away I go. Still got time, but I just kind of wanted it done today because the rental company wouldn't even let us even pay for the car before before I'd actually proven that I'd had it. So, just all shambles. But anyway, so that's on the morning. I've gone to page 2 of Google. That's how many like Reddit pages I'm looking at of tips and tricks, and you know, everyone's saying the same sorts of things. And also they were all saying that there's this 3 possible places in our city where you can do the test. And apparently the one I had picked, which is actually technically the closest one to us, had like the highest pass rate in the country. And I'm like, yo, okay, that kind of, it's, you know, it's, I think it was 80%, but when you think about it, oh my god, 80%, but at the same time it's like, well, 20% of the people, like if you imagine like 100 people go in the space of 2 weeks, like 20 of them have failed. Which is kind of like, again, it's like the Naruto list. It's like, they're big numbers and yet they're small numbers at the same time. But anyway, so I'd done every possible research. I'd watched like 10 YouTube videos. I was probably as prepared up as I possibly could. I was like even like rereading like if there's like a bus lane coming up on your left side and there's a turn that you have to make that technically kind of goes like right at the end of the bus lane, but let's just say that you know, when you would turn there in a non-test situation, you would kind of go over the bus lane. Is that actually legal? Like, what happens if the tester takes me to this particular turn off? And then, you know, what happens if I cross over to the bus lane? Is he gonna ping me? Oh my god, because like going over the bus lane is like one of the only ways, really, was one of the safer ways to get on that turn. So I was freaking out about that. And so I was like, you know, now I'm fully knowledged up about bus lanes, and it turns out, you know, for any of my New Zealand people watching, you are allowed to drive on a bus lane as long as there's no buses who need the bus lane, and you can only drive on it for about 50 meters. So in the instances of, you know, you have to get on the end of it, you have to get on the end of it to make your turn. That is perfectly okay. Like, that is perfectly acceptable. Which is fabulous. It's fantastic. I'm very pleased. But anyway, so I did all my research. Time's counting down. 8 o'clock passes, 9 o'clock passes, and I'm like, well, 9:45 I need to be left the office on my way over there to get there half an hour early. So I leave work, everyone wishes me well, and I'm like, if I come back and I don't say anything, don't ask what happened. But if I come back and I start talking, then A-okay. And I said the same thing to my boy. I'm like, if you don't get a phone call from me, don't ask how it went. If you do, then it's great. But yeah, so there's all that. So I left, I got to the testing station, I pre-filled in my application form, and then so I went to the lady and I handed in my application form, and then because you're going for a new license, they have to retake your photo, and they have to retake my photo like 10 different times, because when I smile my eyes go like, my eyelids like close, and they need to be able to see my eyes properly, so I had to do like 10 different things of trying to get my eyes to not close up. And what else? And then you have to do your sentence thing, and then you have to do an eye test. It didn't fall apart, but alarm bells were raised. Because you have to like look in a thing, and then it's like all the way down the end, this big corridor. There's like there's 7 rows of what I call 8 letters. I think there were 8 letters. And so the way it is, can you please read the letters on line 1? So you say blah 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 blah. And then I did that first, and she's like, okay, I'll do your eye thing later. And I'm like, oh okay, because a girl who was in front of me in line was also doing the exact same thing, and so she did the eye thing and did it, and then moved on to the photo, whatever. Whereas I did the eye thing first. And then she said, okay, I'll stop. And then we'll go do the signature and the thing. And then I needed to go back to the eye thing. I'm like, okay. Oh no, have I failed this already? Because I said the letters that I thought I'd said. So she's like, okay, can you read line 1 again? I'm like, okay, read line 1. And then she's like, can you tell me how many rows there are? And I'm like, sorry, what? And then she's like, how many rows? So there's like rows with the letters, and then there's columns. Can you tell me how many rows there are, and then how many columns? I'm like, okay, there's 7 rows, and then she's okay, and how many columns? And I'm like, 8. And I'm like, oh wait, no, sorry, there's 8 columns of letters, but there's like columns that the letters are in. I'm like, oh okay, there's 2, and she's like, she's like, yeah, there's actually 3. I'm like, oh, and she's like, yeah, I think one of your eyes is actually stronger than the other, so technically you failed this test. And you failed the eye test, and so I can still sit the driver's test. You know, it's not like I can't see, so I can still sit the driver's test and pass that, but they can't issue me the temporary license until I've had an actual eye test. Oh gosh, please don't tell me this is going to take like what I thought was going to be one and done is actually going to take like a week. But yeah, anyway. So, and then because I was thinking I remember when I was taking the test was like my right eye, like it was kind of the things on that side of the screen, but things on my right eye you could probably see were they were like, it was almost like double vision in a way, like they were kind of like duplicating, it was really fuzzy. So that was interesting. But anyway, so I sat the driver's test, and then so I did, I wanted to put my best foot forward. So what would happen is they would like bring the, if you'd parked your car somewhere, because this was like a big shopping centre, like if you'd parked your car elsewhere, you bring it over to the spot in front of the thing, so the instructors don't have to walk. I think it's just the instructors don't have to walk off to the car park somewhere. And then they'll come out. But so I noticed all the people in front of me, they just brought the car over and waited in their car, and the instructor came over. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do things a bit differently. I am so nervous, and I just need to give myself every edge possible. And so I'm actually going to wait inside the building, and when the instructor comes out, I will be able to greet him good day, and how are you, my good sir, and then walk out to the car with him, show him a bit of careful. The testing officer who's having to take time out of his day for me. But anyway, so I did that. He was a bubbly kind of guy. kind of like I know that they do kind of like do a little bit of sizing you up initially. They're kind of getting a gauge of your like nerves level sort of thing. But anyway, so we had to jump in, did all that. We went up to the car. Then you do like check that your indicators are actually working. Also check that you actually know where your indicators are. And check that your brake lights are working. He's just basically making sure that he's not going to die when he gets into the car. Anyway, so we get in, puts his little things up on, he's just chatting away, start thing, reverse out of the thing. I'm like, right, I can reverse out of this. I can reverse out of this, and if I like hit someone, then it's all over. But anyway, so I managed to reverse out fine, and then we're away. Hello, how are you? You've caught me in the probably about halfway through my spiel of my full driver's license test that I did today. That it was a roller coaster of a ride. There were ups and there were downs and there were everything. But anyway, so at this point in time, I have, what have I done? Booked the test. I have booked the test. I've felt sick before the test. Spent like an hour researching the test. I've possibly figured out that I might need glasses maybe. And anyway, so we're backing out. And then I realised, oh wait, we're in a car, so I need to be going 20 kilometres an hour. And then I almost turned down the wrong place as well, so I'm like, well, we're off to a flying start. He probably thinks I'm an absolute numpty at this point in time. But anyway, so we carry on, we keep going, and then as we turn onto like the main road, he's like, he just starts chatting away. Like, as if I'm like his best mate or something. I'm like, oh, this guy, like, why is he so chatty? He's not at all like the testing officer that I had when I went for my restricted. But anyway, so chatting away, and then we get onto the motorway, and things are going pretty breezy. Luckily, I picked a time of the morning where there was actually not that bad traffic. So anyway, we're going down, and she's chatting away the whole time. Ask me how I'm doing, we're chatting about like where we moved from, and how we're finding things in the city, and how hot the weather was. And I'm just like, this guy, like, now I'm just like fully relaxed up, like, okay, this guy's cool. And then what's that? So then we're driving down, make my right turns, and then like comes like the hazard thing. But that was really weird because when he's asking about the hazards, he just wanted a snapshot. So then when he says, okay, what are the hazards? And there's like literally no hazards around. And I'm like, and he's like, oh no, you don't have to say anything because there's literally no hazards around. I'm like, okay, great, cool. Anyway, so then, carry on, doing my thing, fully relaxed. I'm checking my mirrors religiously because I know that as soon as I don't, like, I'm just so scared that that's going to be it. So going away, we're chatting about, trips to Hawaii and all this sort of thing. And then he just seemed almost too chill, to the point like it would get to the point where he and this is where we figured out there was probably the same instructor or the same officer that me and the boy had on our test, is because he would be like chatting so much that he'd almost like forget to point us down the road that we're actually meant to go down. Like he'd be doing it like right at the last second. I'm like, oh goodness, like this guy's just enjoying having a chat. He's just a driving officer, a test officer. He just wants to talk to people. But anyway, we go down, and then going down these roads, I remember from watching the test route on YouTube, and then we start, get back on the motorway and we'd also like not gone down heaps of roads that the YouTube video had gone down. But anyway, so we get back on the motorway. I'm like, geez, that was only what, like 10 minutes? Like surely something's up, because generally what they'll do is if you do like a critical failure or like immediate failure, they'll basically just send you on the path back to the testing station. So like when you're doing your restricted test, which is meant to be a good like half hour, 40 minutes, suddenly 10 minutes later you find yourself going back to the test and think you failed, like no doubt about it. So I thought that's what had happened, like, oh god, I've done something and I've just failed. But no, get back, and he's like, that was perfect, that was really good. And I'm like, seriously? And he's like, yeah. And then actually no, there's even a point where I got to a T intersection, and he said, okay, right, what are the hazards? I'm like, okay, well, slowing down for a giveaway, you know, watching the cars on my left, checking the cars on my right, and all that sort of thing. And then I noticed that there were no cars behind me. So I made, you know, saying all the stuff about to go, and then he's like, oh, did you mention that car behind you? I'm like, oh no, and then he was just like cracking up. He's like, oh, don't worry, they only came up just as you were leaving, so that's all good. Like, all good. I just want to see the sense of humor. I'm like, this guy, like, Jesus. He's like both putting me on edge and like putting me at ease at the same time. Anyway, so we get back to the testing station, and you know, we find a park, and he's like, his colleagues or something were in another car, and he's like, oh my god guys, find a park. Like, he was just like roasting his colleagues. And then get back and he's like, bro, that was perfect. Like, you passed. I'm like, oh my goodness. But then because I needed the eye test to be able to get my license. Thank you. I don't know. Oh, they'll be in the room. They'll be next to the bed. And yeah, so then, but because I needed my eye test, like, he couldn't give me the license. So anyway, so I'm just like, well, screw it. I'm like, I'm earlier than I thought that I'd be when I said I'd be back for work. So I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna go to some optometrist. The lady at the testing station was really lovely. She said, oh, if you just go here, they'll get one for 20 bucks. So go down there. I'm just like, screw it. I'm gonna go down. It's only like 5 minutes up the road. So go up the road. Go into the place, there's like no one around or like no customers, so I'm like, can I get an eye test? They're like, fuck yeah, sure, like come on in, you can have one right now. I'm like, sweet. So go in, go book the thing. The guys in there were really lovely. Had an optometrist, optometrist called Justin, lovely. And he was, you know, since we did the whole thing, and he's like, yeah, there's like nothing wrong. There's like nothing wrong with your eyesight. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So then what he had to do is there was a special form that he had to like fill in and sign that I then go back to the testing station and give, basically saying, yeah, I can actually drive without glasses. And then, so when I was paying for it, the guy at the counter said, he's like, you know what? He's like, can I ask why you're here? Like, or like, what did they say you needed to come in for? I'm like, oh, because I failed their little machine thing. He's like, look, to be honest, you're like the 5th person today that's coming for that, and we had like 6 people yesterday. You're like, I think there's actually something wrong with their machine. It's like the amount of people that have been coming in because they've been told that their eyesight's shocking, you know, that they failed their driver's license eye test is like, so it's to the point where I don't think it's the people, I think it's the machine. So I'm like, oh, interesting piece of glass. But anyway, so I hoof it back to the testing station, give it to the lady. She's like, oh hey, that was fast. I'm like, yeah, I need my license. I just need it done now. So I give the form to her, get my license, and then she's like, look, to be honest, I think those eye machine things are a bit bung. I'm like, that's what the guy at the optometrist said. Anyway, so she reckons that they're all bollocks. And done. And then I got my license, and that is it. End of the story. Drove away a very, very happy lady. And part of me was like, I don't know why I was so worked up about it, but hey. I went in over prepared, and probably half of the battles that I had the most loveliest him. After he just wanted to chat. It was fantastic. And yeah, so that is my testing drivers. That is my thingy-mabob experience. So for anyone out there who is nervous to sit there using a full driver's license, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Well, so that was me today. And then the other news. Oh wait, and thank you very much. It's been, I'm like 6 years late on it. I mean, I could have got the full license like 6 years ago, but it's just, actually no, I couldn't have got this. Oh, if I'd got my, like, each stage of my license when I could have got each stage of my license, I would have had it now, but like I was on my learner's license for like 4 years, when I could have gone into my restricted about like 2 years after, and then I only got my restricted 4 years ago, and then I could have gone for my full 18 months after, but alas. But yeah, and then, the other thing today, to add more good news, good news for me really, but I got my Mystical Ninja N64 cartridge order from eBay. Some guy in America, he put it in his VHS cassette, but I got the little cartridge. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. I've already chucked it in. I've already chucked it in and had a little jam, well, like a 5-minute jam, just to make sure A, it was the right game, B, it worked, and all that. So, and then even because it comes with the manual as well, and the manual, oh my goodness, it's got like everything, like even power-ups that you get 75% of the way into the game, it gives you all the controls for, like stuff that other manuals wouldn't even touch on. Like, it gives you every possible piece of information about the game. It's fantastic. And I was so happy that it is, because I've got, I think it's the PAL. Oh, it's technically, yeah, it's the PAL version. Is it the PAL version? Oh, it's the Euro one. So I think it is. I think it's not the Jap version, and it's not the US version either. So I mean, I chucked it in my console. It worked. I was able to play it for about 10 minutes. So, but it's not. Being able to play that fully is not over yet, because, of course, the N64 had a thing called a controller pack, kind of like the Rumble pack and the transfer pack, but a controller pack, which is basically like, it's essentially the memory card. But even though the N64 has its own memory, it was kind of like, for some games, not every game, but some games, depending on how the save files worked, you needed a controller pack to actually be able to save it, because it would save to the controller pack rather than the console memory. So, of course, this is one such game, and I don't have a controller pack, so I can play it. It would be just as if I'd played the PS2 game without the memory card. It's like, yeah, I can play it fine. You know, if I can finish it in one sitting, then, you know, fantastic. But as soon as you reset it or turn it off, then the save file's gone. I'm like, badges, great. Now I need to go get a controller pack. So it's not over yet, but there are some control packs on eBay, well, not eBay, Trade Me, that are quite cheap, so that will be step number 3, being able to play this fully. But then, once I have, then I share my love of this game to a wider audience, because I'm even thinking of doing like yearly pilgrimages to this game. Oh, I love it so much. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on about it. But that is to come in the future, because it is fantastic. Yeah. So that was today. What else? What else happened today? That is all good. What I might do is, after this, if you're still streaming when I finish this, then I'll come and hang out. I'm guessing are you doing Final Fantasy 17? Oh, you started. Oh, nice. That's nice. I think I played that. Oh, would have been about, would have been probably about a month after it came out. It's very, very good, and it's one of those games that I've used photo mode the most. Some of the places look absolutely beautiful, like especially like the palaces and things. Oh man, it is good. Oh, of course, would that be for the your upload speed? Nah, I'm sure you'll be right. You'll be fine. Excuse me. Your chicken good? But no, I'll definitely see you there. Still streaming when I finish this, which will be about an hour and a half. I will be there. Oh, thank you. Talk soon. Oh my goodness. Chakra-dash. Love.
お前の目は何も見えていない。
You think he would have had a special cut-in? I guess not.
残念だ。
Probably because it doesn't really do the special cut-ins if it's like more fights from normal Naruto era. Like Shippuden. So it was funny. I was thinking to myself on the way out of the test, after I got my, got the license and everything. It's funny, even though in the car park legally you're meant to be going 20 kilometers an hour, and of course no one does. They're all hoofing at about 40. So I'm like, isn't it such the irony? You come in for your test, you're going 40. You take your test, you leave and enter the car park at 20 because otherwise you'll fail. And then once you got your license, you then leave again at 40 because hey, I'm not in a test situation. Losh more. Who needs that? Who needs speed limits? It's just, yeah, it's so funny. Like, not saying like you just fully drive completely dangerously, but you take all the shortcuts that you take otherwise. You don't have a testing officer watching you. Come on. Now the sugar. There we go.
俺は俺の道を行く。邪魔をするな。時間の無駄だったな。
The other funny thing too is reading on the get all my hair out of my face. Getting reading all the the tips that people had for the test. They say when I asked the instructor something during the test, they didn't say anything because if you have a support, because you can actually bring a support person in the test. So I could have the boy sitting in the back seat, but he's not allowed to talk to me or distract me in any way, and otherwise I fail. And the driving instructor is technically meant to be doing the same thing. They can, the driving instructor wants to know that you're not going to suddenly be distracted while you're driving, and then potentially put you and them in an unsafe situation. But you know, so like people have had it where they've asked the instructor something and the instructor just stayed silent because, you know, I'm not supposed to be distracted yet. But like my dude we were just having a full on conversation as if like we were like mates from work or something. It was fantastic. You know, I'm like, he's definitely what, you know, he could have, I mean, technically been distracting me the whole time. He would have distracted me more than if the boy was sitting in the back. But it's so odd. But like, and I suppose because we reckon it's the same thing the boy had, we reckon that he's probably, rather than, you know, sticking to the book, you know, going by the book for all of this sort of stuff, he knows that if you can talk to someone while you're driving and still be indicating correctly, giving way correctly, still able to do that, like, you know how to drive. Like, he knows that you know how to drive. It's really just checking the finer details. So like, probably as part of the strategy is to like teach you the whole time, because if you can talk to him the whole time and you're pulling off, you know, the basic stuff, and it doesn't look like you're being too distracted, he's probably like tick like mega ticks, because it's like she was able to drive even with the distractions. So it's like maybe the people who pass under him are like mega pass. He's technically been distracted the whole time. Going like, you know, judging by how they measure what a distraction is. Like, we've had it the whole time, and yet we passed with flying colours. So it's like it's fantastic. I think his name was Dave. I'm like, Dave, so Dave won't be watching, but if Dave, if you watch it, you're amazing. Yeah, because you always hear those stories about those, like, the really, really grouchy instructors that are just, not that they want you to fail, but like they will just end like any slight possible thing that they can ping you on, they will, just because they're, you know, they're out for blood. But not old Dave. Not Dave. He's your best friend. It's almost like a shame that most of those people sitting there tests in the country, you know, they won't experience the majesty of these days. Oh. It sounds like there's like someone in the kitchen or blah blah blah. I'll update the numbers after this one, so we'll be down to 39? No, 37 after this one. Bad what up? Like, why are you suddenly being, you know, being good to play as? It's weird. Like, Don't know, by the way. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Alright. What are we at? We're at 37, aren't we? Lovely jubbly. Okay, now we're Tamari and Young Tintin. It's just surprising how, like, you know, and I bet you it will not fall over at Young Tintin. It will, you know, it's ironic that, you know, young Sasuke is where the fights are dragging out and not characters like this motherfucker. Oh wait, no, that was wrong. I thought that was me. It wasn't. Yeah, so basically, like if I had to, you know, if I had to contribute to the big Reddit thread of, you know, tips for passing your full license, I'll just say, just go to this VTNZ and ask for Dave. Dave has got your back. Dave has got your back. Oh my goodness. There we go. That would be my advice. Have Dave. Because honestly, that was, I swear to God, he's probably like 50% of the reason why me and the boy passed. It was also interesting too how they because when you watch like all the help about you know about identifying the hazards, so basically they give you the impression that, you know, you'd be driving down a road for like 20 seconds, and for that whole 20 seconds you have to name all the hazards, like oncoming traffic, go to the bus stop over there, you know, all that sort of thing. But this guy, you just want to, like, at this singular, for this 2-second window, what were the hazards? And I'm like, oh, well, there was oncoming traffic, there was a pedestrian over there, and there was a car pulling out of the driveway. Yeah, done. Boom, done. And I'm like, I don't know if that's now the standard, or that's just Dave, but, like, even that bit that I was stressing about was easy. And it's like, what's going on? I'm going crazy town. But then, you know, it's always like the one thing, you know, when you're dreading something, it always ends up to be better, you know. It's like me with roller coasters. If you ask me, I will never go on a roller coaster. But on the rare occasions that I have, I've loved it, and I've wanted to go on again. But as soon as I remove myself from that environment, I never want to go on a roller coaster. There's something about the feeling in your stomach, you know, that feeling that you get where like your stomach lifts. There's something about that feeling that just unnerves me. Oh damn, that's some good chicken. Also, and the boy, things going on the boy's side. He's been dying and dying and dying and dying dying to get a four-wheel drive truck, and so he's managed to, he put his current truck up on trade. And he's had some people like interested, like watching, but no one really putting any offers in. And he's like, oh, I need my four-wheel drive, so there's like a Ute trade-in or something place, and just send them some pictures, how much will they give me, and they're like, yo, we'll give you like 18k. He's like, okay, I like that number. So tomorrow what he's probably gonna do is tomorrow he's gonna bring in like trade in his truck and take a forward, like, because they sell like things as well. So he'll go take his truck, trade it in, get there, and then probably drive away with a four-wheel drive. So he will be, and that will be him for like the weekend. Will be tending to his vehicle. It's kind of like the whole thing about you get those videos of like dads like tenderly waxing the side of their truck. It'll be like that. It'll be a love story. A love story better than Twilight. But then it means that I can buy cool car accessories, like Christmas and birthday presents are like done, because I'm like, bro, do you want like a cool like review mirror decoration hanger thing, but it's like, I don't know, like antlers or something, because he loves hunting. I can help him deck out his car or his truck. I say car for everything. He makes the distinction between a car and a truck and a ute and a sedan and an SUV, and I'm sorry, a car's a car. If it's like a family-like vehicle, it's a car. I would only ever call it a truck if it's like, like a big lorry or like a rubbish truck or a food transport truck, then I'll call it a truck. But like anything that, old bomb on a Sunday time, hop on, that's a car. So no, you want to know. It's definitely. Doing lots of things. Lovely. Jubbly. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. I've got you might have seen if you follow me on the twits. I managed to get Star Ocean this week for Divine Force, so I've been playing that the last few days, and janky facial animations aside, I'm thoroughly good. It's just like, it's one of those cozy JRPGs. Like it's just big maps, skill trees, lots of towns to walk around. I don't dislike, but I prefer my games with like lots of towns to walk around. And the kinds of like I wouldn't say they're necessarily like developed like in the way that Dragon Quest 8 or even the Dragon Quest games does their towns. But they're still good, and the combat's fun, and the stories, I suppose it's a bit slow. It's slow, I guess, but it's just the golden age of PS2 JRPGs. It's just very reminiscent of that. And everyone knows that the golden age of PS2 JRPGs is a golden age for a reason. It's the likes that spawned Dragon Quest 8, my favourite game ever. But it's it's nice. And last night they had the you're almost waiting for this game was made in lockdown kind of thing, because probably would have been actually. But the whole you go to this town and there's an outbreak of some plague or disease, And then, you know, you have to go, you know, trying to find a cure or whatever, so your characters have to all mask up, you know, put cloths around your face and mask up, and then they're like, and I was like, oh, why do we have to wear these masks? It's like, well, you know, masks are good for not spreading disease, you know, masks are good for not catching disease, but it also stops you spreading them too. You know, if you wear masks, basically it's, you'd be done not to wear masks during outbreaks of some description. So hey, people playing, if there's ever an outbreak of some description near you, would be a good idea to wear a mask. Is basically, that is the scene. Pretty much, it's almost like all that was missing was the characters turning to face you and being like, see, wear your face mask, or else this can happen to you. Is basically what it was missing. But I just thought something about it though was just so sweet and just so like it was like imagine like you having a conversation with someone, a group of people, and you're having a conversation about someone or something or whatever, and then that person, like, you know, someone either that you're talking about or, you know, is related to the topic that you're talking about, kind of like comes nearby. So they're not necessarily coming up to you and saying something, but, you know, they're nearby, and you can definitely know that they're within earshot. So then the way that you talk, like if you want to say something like to the person that you're talking to, but you kind of like, you know that the other person's listening, so you kind of want them to secretly hear what you say. And so the way that you change your demeanor, like the way that you say it becomes, like it might be like so small it's imperceptible, but it's like you'll change how you talk, like whether you're like talking slightly louder or you're just emphasizing certain things, and just so the way that you talk will be different. And it kind of like the conversation in the game where they were talking about it kind of almost felt like that, like us the player was nearby and they were kind of like, yeah, you totally be wearing your face mask, like, oh wow, you'd be such a fool if you didn't wear your face mask, like wanting us to hear because we're nearby, because we're earshot. Like it felt like that, and there was something about that I just felt so something about it was just so sweet, that they had that kind of quality to it. But genuinely, it's I'm enjoying it. And the thing is that the problem I've got is that it's on the PS5, because as soon as next Wednesday comes, I've got less than a week. Just less than a week to get as much of it done as I can, before the boy takes the there'll be the PS5 gone for the foreseeable future, essentially, while he plays God of War, which I've decided I probably won't play that on stream. I'll talk about it, and I might do some. You know, and I might do some. Talk about it. Might do some tweets about it, but you know, probably won't do it on stream. There's some games where you have a very personal experience with them. Or like, there's certain games that you just kind of just want to fully absorb yourself into without, I don't know how to describe it really, but there's just certain games that it doesn't feel like when you're on the street. Or at least to me anyway. Like, there's certain games that I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm like, I can't wait to do this on stream. And then there's other games where I'm like, I probably won't. And so like God of War's one of them. I'm tossing and turning about whether Breath of the Wild 2 is one of them as well. Yeah. And then because I was also thinking about Elder Scrolls 6, because the thing is, there's going to be that Avowed game that comes out. So basically the measured to Skyrim, but it's in the Pillars of Eternity universe, which is, if you are into CRPGs, highly recommend the Pillars of Eternity games if you're into that. Anyway, so yeah, so I was thinking about take about Elder Scrolls 6. If I had to do one on stream, what would I do? And I was thinking and tossing and turning and burning and whooping, and I think I would do Avowed on stream and not Elder Scrolls 6. But, and so then you might think, and then I'm thinking, oh well, is there any commonality between like Breath of War 2, Elder Scrolls, and God of War? And I'm thinking, well, all the commonality between all of them is that I am, oh my god, so excited for them. It's probably going to be a main one. But then I was thinking, oh no, is it a case of all the games I'm super interested in playing, I'm not going to stream? But then I'm thinking, well no, because you can bet your darn diddly ass I am streaming Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, I'm streaming Crisis Core, I'm streaming Final Fantasy 16, you know, all the Final Fantasies like I'm doing. So then it's not a case of, you know, it's not a case of all the games that I'm super duper excited for are going to be the ones that I don't stream. It's just, I don't know, it's just weird. It's like a feeling I get. Like I feel like I don't want to stream it. But it would definitely be one of those, like, there would definitely be games where it's almost like what? Games like even on like a second playthrough or like another playthrough, I would stream it. It's like possibly with God of War if I was doing a platinum run or something, or if I had, you know, let's say one of the trophies on hard mode, you know, it'd be like I would do that playthrough on the stream. And for like Breath of the Wild 2, like, depending on how the world is, you know, whether it's I do the main story and then it's like the cleanup afterwards, if it's like, or if it's something like the Korok Seeds, you know, where there's 900 and I want to say there's I don't think it was 999, it might just be 900 Korok Seeds, but, you know, it'd be like something like that. If they had an equivalent, you know, I would, you know, I'll stream, you know, let's get all 900 Korok Seeds. And then the same with with Elder Scrolls 6 would probably be, you know, do I do a proper like role play run of it? So like at the moment when I do Skyrim, I try and start off, you know, sometimes I think to myself, like, this is the one where I'm like two-handed heavy armor, like I'm there. And then 5 hours later I'm back to my destruction in one hand, sword in the other, and light armor, like Nightingale armor. And I'm up ends. Like every playthrough always ends up like that. Everyone. I think there might have been one playthrough where I did like a basically just did the stealth archer. Oh my god, like times 16 headshots. Golly grief, you can do some damage. Like just headshot after headshot. But anyway, so it was that. You know, so the games that I would stream, you know, would be all the Final Fantasies, probably Avowed, probably games like Sonic Frontiers, probably not Pokemon. Pokemon's always been one of those games that, you know, just because I would be playing Pokemon so unlike. Actually, no, I wouldn't say I play it very, very occasionally. Like, as in, like, I would be giving competitive Pokemon players, like, strokes and heart attacks if they saw how I played it. There's no strategy, no nothing. Like, no optimization whatsoever. It's awful. I say it's awful, it's not awful to me. I think I'll win. You know, I beat the story. I did pretty well. I finished my tea and got my water now. So, yeah. So I think probably not that. And then what other games are coming out? Theatre Rhythm, now that was one that I was tossing up. Because Theatre Rhythm is basically, imagine OS, but it's Final Fantasy. That's basically what that is, but like OS that's less Japanese. Less like Asian power level. Like Asian level 9000. Like it's less than that. It's less the thing where the people who can like 100% super high score S-rank difficulties of songs as like they have descended to the realm of mortals from the heavens. It's like, you know, it's Theatre Rhythm's like not that at all. It's like, well, at least I don't think it is. I've actually never played a Theatre Rhythm game. Because they've only been out on the DS and I could not, oh no, 3DS? So they basically came out on a console and I couldn't get them. So when this one got announced, I'm like, yes, I'm très excited. So I'm thinking, but then because it's very musical, if y'all don't like music, then it would just be that, I guess. So Theatre Rhythm might be one that I just sort of it'll be on my Switch anyway, so it might just be one that I just jam, just do a couple levels at night kind of thing, before bed. It's my bedtime wind down, just doing a couple songs on Theatre Rhythm. Yeah, so there's that one. What else is coming out? What else is coming out? I feel like there's more that's coming out. There we go. Lovely. Right. Now we've got, of course, try basically just spam ultimates on. That's okay. She does absolutely no damage otherwise. And because he's pretty stationary, that's pretty easy as well. There's so much more. Oh my goodness. I have my life admin folder, but I'm not even using it. I've got them all here, the games that are coming out. Oh my goodness. I hope if I don't bugger my controller doing it. Oh my goodness. I'll do that now. It's safe to do so. Oh, seven. Oh, that's presents. Oh my goodness. Where's my games wish list thing? Have I even put it in my folder? It should be there. Where's it not here? Oh my goodness. Where did where's this piece of paper go? Not somewhere. Ah, there we are. But first, Naruto 6 parts and Sasuke Kage Summit. So Critical, yes. Oh, Starfield. What do I do with that? I'm thinking I might actually do Starfield. This is gonna sound really weird. It's also gonna sound very silly, but like very chill. I feel like Starfield's gonna be a game that I'm gonna love. Regardless of what it is, I'm gonna love it. And I feel like it's a game that's gonna be very polarizing. If it's mediocre, then Bethesda just gets absolutely to shreds. If it's bad, even more so. If it's good, you'll be lamenting what it could have been. And it'll be very limited. And if it's fantastic, then Bethesda's redeemed and all is well. And I feel like it's gonna be both it's gonna be both of those at the same time. It's going to be fantastic to some people, and it's gonna be utter rubbish to a lot of others. And I feel like me streaming Starfield, because I will be, I'm not gonna be, glowing review to the point of like, okay, but like, it's kind of like blind to the faults because you want it to be good so bad. It's not gonna be a case of that, but I think it's gonna be one of those games where any negativity around it is going to be amplified, because the negativity towards it is good for the whole, it's good fuel to the let's hate Bethesda fire. So I think it's the kind of game that any positivity about it, I think will be good, and it will help. And even then, like, obviously, if it's bad, it's going to be a case of, if it's objectively bad, then it's objectively bad. No amount of love of Bethesda's work's going to be able to say otherwise. But even if there's the thing, if it's not objectively bad, and people just don't like it because it's cool to dislike it, then he absolutely loves doing that soccer ball. Like, it's almost like his AI is programmed to do it like once every 10 seconds. Anyway, so I think I might, and I do genuinely, if Starfield is good, it's going to be great. And I think I might stream it. Yeah, because that will be fun. What else? What is it? Hogwarts Legacy. Fire Emblem. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Maybe Fire Emblem, possibly. I might actually do Fire Emblem. Yeah, I might actually do Fire Emblem. Those are good games, I've enjoyed those. I've never played any of the Fire Emblem games. I've heard of them. I think I've tried to play the Sacred Stones on the Game Boy. Never could get into it, I guess. I'm like, oh, it's a real-time strategy, oh no thanks. But then I borrowed Fire Emblem Awakening from a friend at uni, and I'm like, ooh, I like this, I do like this. And then we got Fire Emblem Fates, and then it goes from there. I've had every Fire Emblem since. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that. I probably might, I think. And because when it comes to RTS, I'm rubbish at strategizing. Like I'm rubbish at strategizing like for the long game. I'm kind of like a get in and get in quickly, kill them quickly kind of thing. I will send up my strongest troops. I'm like, my Pegasus riders are just absolutely tanking it, like Clive in the Fire Emblem 3 Houses, because I did the Golden Deer route. Claude. He becomes an absolute beast like a beast fighting game. He can like one-man army everything. It was insane because he was like he was an archer, and I think he was a dragon or wyvern rider. He was like, count on him to get a critical every time you need a critical. It was just insane, like insane how good he was. And I don't know whether that's because I had, you know, unintentionally neglected everyone else, which I don't think I did. I try and keep my team all up to date, but like he was just the trump card you bring out. You almost just want to just send him out first, just to, you know, just to win everything for you. But yeah, so yeah, and if I don't have my chords, I'm not very good otherwise. If I don't have my chords, my troops get bored. I was trying to think some rhyming into how to do there, but if I don't have chords, I'm the worst on the board. That's a good one. That sums up my Fire Emblem Three Houses experience. Trepidation. You know you want to. Let's go. Trepidation. Bang. Bang. Alright. And also Fire Emblem's one that everyone's just gonna rip it to shreds because of the main difference here. Oh goodness. Oh, and that's the other one I've got to do SpongeBob, the Cosmic Shake when that comes out. Oh, I love SpongeBob. I just love SpongeBob in general. Be one of those people that, you know, when I'm like mid-20s, I'm like, I love SpongeBob, and everyone's like, SpongeBob? That like show for little kids. Are you saying you're a little kid? I'm like, how dare you? How dare you? This SpongeBob. Like, how dare you? Like, you've just blasphemed in the house of God. Like, it's to that level when it was me and SpongeBob. It is, and I'm not talking about like, well, I suppose, well, because I actually haven't seen all I say all that, I haven't seen it. But like OG SpongeBob, like Private Games SpongeBob is, I defy anyone who says that it is some of the best, if not the best, cartoon episodes ever devised on screen. It is comedic, cartoonic, Friday Games in particular is just, it has every possible thing. It has jokes that are just, it's not like, I don't particularly care for jokes where it's like, oh my god, it's so random. It's funny because it's random. Oh my god, I can't believe you did that. It's just like, but it's like in such a way that it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like the whole like, my name's not Rick. It's just like, it's just fantastic. I love it. I just love it. And what else? Okay, if I had to do like top 5 SpongeBob episodes ever, and these are like my personal favourites. Now I've just transitioned into SpongeBob, and I don't care because I love SpongeBob so much. My top 5 SpongeBob episodes of all time are, in no particular order. This is just as I remember them. Private Games, Krusty Krab training video is just fantastic. What else we got? I'm just trying to think now. It's all SpongeBob episodes are just completely gone out of my head. anymore. Oh goodness, okay, now what have you got? What are just the classics? The best ones. The Krusty Krab pizza, probably. Chocolate. Chocolate. The chocolate one. That's the best one. That's one of the best ones. One of the best ones. Again, this is in no particular order. Yes, we've got Froco Games. I've already forgotten the second one. Krusty Krab training video. Chocolate. Oh my goodness. The band one. School's going to put together the marching band one. Now for the next one episodes. Best SpongeBob episodes. Number 3 on the autocorrect under sponge cake recipes. Oh, here we are. See already. Band Geeks and Chocolate with Nuts is already on the top, on the 4 that's listed. Popular one. Oh, and the Krusty Krab training video. Right. Young Choji. Oh, the painted. Oh, Christmas. Krusty Towers. Oh, the whiiiile Junior one. Yes. Yeah, that's one. Okay, my revised. So, Froco Games, number 1. I'm also very surprised we don't have the Froco Games on this one because, frankly, it's the best. Probably my favourite one ever. So that one, the Krusty Krab training video, Band Geeks, the whiiiile Junior one, and oh goodness gracious, not rock bottom. Right, well, next. Toby and Takata. Look at these guys. Wow. Okay, good. This list has the Froco Games. Pizza delivery. Okay, so this is my revised one. It is Froco Games, Krusty Krab training video, Band Geeks, oh goodness, I'm just completely blank again. Oh goodness. blanking every single time I try to think about it. That was such a rubbish fight. Oh my goodness, golly, how my controllers keeps disconnecting. Oh, my good luck from earlier today is just completely gone. I swear. And as I say these SpongeBob, they're just disappearing from our mind, other than Fractal Games and Crash to Crab training video. Band Geeks, that's 3. What's number 4 and 5? Probably actually the Flying Dutchman episode, Shanghai I think it's called. That episode had some of the most fantastic, like, we can't escape through the door, then we have to go through the perfume department. And it's just like them running through like a perfume department and people trying to trying to spray the perfume from them. Like, what even is that? But it's just amazing. It's the random humor, but just done so well. It's not like, and I want to say just like nowadays cartoons, but it is kind of like nowadays cartoons. There's this quality that they have about them now. There's just like, oh my god, we're so quirky, it's so random. It's like, no. You did not do it the way it's and it's like, and again, it's just like, some of it was just like, you couldn't get away with it nowadays as either, because of, it wouldn't be politically correct or something like that as well. It's just, yeah. Oh, I love it. It's my life. Right. Rin and Third Rank. Do you know what I just thought for that? Do you know what I realized about this? What I think I did, like what I know I've done, is one of my earlier fights was meant to be Gara versus the Third Rank Hage. And what I think I did was do Gara versus A instead. And I just completely didn't even understand. I think that's what I actually did instead. Goodness. I think that's what I actually ended up doing. Oh. Then the mosquitoes probably going to be in already. They're probably camping out, waiting. But then my other fear is that I did Gara versus the Third Rank Hage and then A versus Gara. In which case then I'm going to have to do the other half of each. Just my fear. My fear. update the fights because we're down to 8,210. And then at the same time, I'm just gonna quickly into also whether I've already done Gara versus A before. Because if I have, then that's not another side of a fight. And I've done like both halves. Well, I've done one half of each kind of pairing. Then I don't need to worry about that. So it's Gara. And I'll just check my spreadsheet. So Gara and Third Raikage obviously haven't done. But Gara and A, I have done. Beans. Beans, beans, beans. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm just going to carry on for them all. Naruto isn't totally right. What it means is, because I don't know which one I faced as, I just know that I played as A. So what that means, I do one extra fight at the end of this, which is Third Raikage and Gara. And then if I've already done and then if I did do Gara versus Third Raikage, then that's fine. But even if I did do that, yes, it's caught up, but then on technically one remaining, adding a remaining. So basically I need to watch this back and find out what I did. Wow, I keep doing this all the time. One more time. We'll lose me one. Tradition. Haku and Yangara. Goodness, this control. I've got it hooked around my keyboard, so whenever I pull it, it hooks around my keyboard and that's what makes it out thick. regardless of whether before I actually go this is A or go this is okay, I just do that pair of fights again, but don't change the countdown. Because then, even if regardless of whether I did or not, it would, if I just do those fights randomly, just normally anyway, then the counter will be as if I had just done them normally. So I might just so I'll get down to probably like the last. I suppose I'll just get down to do my 2 hours and then just do that pair of fights and then that's it. Methinks. I've got a funny feeling that I probably did do A on both of those fights, in which case then I've already done that pair. And I've also calculated as well that according to the number of fights I've made and according to the number of fights I've done, there's a discrepancy of 6 somewhere. And it's either a case of I misput something, I haven't put something in my spreadsheet, like I did the fight. Actually no, so if the discrepancy of 6, I can't remember whether it's like the fights remaining is I've said I've done 6 when I haven't, or I haven't done 6 and I should have, whether the counter is actually higher or lower than it should be. But so what that might mean is towards the end, once I have a clear idea of what those 6 are, either those 6 will come next, and what there will be is it'll either be one of 2 things, or the way I'll figure out will be one of 2 things. One of 2 ways will be is I will, on the big sheet that I've got that I generate the fights that I'm gonna do from, I will generate a fight from a blank, from a pairing that hasn't been done before. I will do it, and then when I finish it and go to enter in that sheet on my big other tracker spreadsheet, that thing will already be filled. In which case I dropped the number of fights remaining down when actually I should have dropped it down. So there'll be that. The other thing will be, I suppose what I could do is for each random pairing I generate, I just go through the sheet and just check if it hasn't already been done before. Because then if I do that, then I should find that 6. There should be 6 squares that I should come across. If that's the case, I think. Yeah. There'll either be, at the end of this, 6 squares that haven't been filled out, or 6 squares. Yeah, it'll either be, let's just say I've got, let's say on the sheet, it'll either be I've got 6 squares left, but I've got 12 fights remaining, or it will be I've got 6 fights remaining and I've filled out every square, which wouldn't be the case because I would have definitely have caught it by then and have rectified it. But it'll be one of those 2 things. So somewhere along the way there's been some kind of discrepancy in either how I've entered things. Oh, no, in how I've entered things. So, of course, human, I suppose the perfect advertisement for AI, automation, human error is a thing. I'm living proof. Now I'm just blanking out and thinking that I've played as young Tamari somewhere where I shouldn't have. I'm absolutely losing my marbles. Young Obito in second music. I feel like I've done this fight before. Young Obito in second Mizukage. 1 second. I swear to God I did that last time. Young Obito. No, I haven't. No, I'm losing it. No, just losing my marbles. Anyway. Who did I play with the second Mizukage then? Who knows? This period after the next one, which is a Naruto 2010. I will be at 8,200. Very and I've now done officially will have gone over 3,000 fights done. I'll be like at 3,020 or something at this point. I'm over 25% of the way there. I'm like 26 or something. Twice 26.1%. Even if, actually no, even if I get 70, that's okay. Because, why? 67 or 68 is my average. Which actually, because ever since I did that big 84 one the other day, that average one. Probably gonna do like 3 ultimates as well on this one. Just gonna get 10 tenors absolutely rupture that one. Now we're down to 8,200, which I think is an update. Fabuloso. And now, who we got next? Kabuto Cloaking. Ick. As long as I get to 70, I'll be happy. At least that was a quick one.
Oh yeah. Like slowly perfecting it. Right, so now we got who got next? Jiraiya and Toby. Blanking. Imagine like developing a ninja art that just turns your own appearance, like you put a mouth in your own ear. Like, it's both
great and just weird at the same time. Alright. This pace would have been nice earlier, but alas. I was just doing this. And just all the characters that I thought I'd be like, oh yes, boom, fast fight, fast fight, fast fight. Not even. Not even. And now touch your reanimation. Now I was thinking that day 47 is going to be our last day. So calculated that at the end of day 45, we should be down close to 8,100. Day 46 would then be getting down towards the very end of 8,000. And then day 47 we would go below 8,000. We would finally hit 7,000 on day 47. Which means then if you divide divide 48 by divide 48 by 3, you get 16. So 16 days per 1,000 points. Oh, like roughly. And I'm rounding down. Oh, actually, now that I say that, I'm at 3,000 points now, aren't I? Because I'm rounding down to like, I'm doing like 11,000 to 8,000 kind of thing. So I might have my number, well no, we'll have my numbers off. It won't be there. So let's say around 15 days to do per 1,000 fights. No, actually no, it's good. Yeah, 15 days. It's a nice one. So then, if you want to do 11,000 fights, is just 15 times 11, which is 165. I've got 2 days off. My phone to do. yes, 165. And then of course then... Oh, actually no, yeah, no, that's about right actually. Actually no, that's, but yeah, 165, so I've just knocked 2 days off on average. Lovely. I want to try and get that down to 160 if I can. Right now, Sasuke, this will be a fast fight, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And this one I have to finish with ultimates. After this fight, yeah, we're at 71. After this fight, I'm going to do the 2 last ones, which will be Third Kage versus Gaara and Gaara versus Third Kage. And I'm not going to drop the numbers down like that. I mean, or like I won't be dropping the numbers down by 2 more. Okay. Yeah, so Gaara the last 2 ones, but otherwise, because we won't drop down the numbers, so down to 8,192. Then yeah, so Sunday will drop us down to just above 8,000. 8,100. So the next day will drop to mid to low 8,000, and then day 47 will be day 47 will be when we hit below 8,000.
守るべきすべての者たちのために。いくらだ。
Right, and the last fight of the Leonard. And I'll probably end up watching it back and I'll just completely lost it. Lost my marbles and I actually never even really needed to do these fights. But I'm fairly certain I did when I didn't need to. Lovely jubbly. And that's the exact same point on the exact same combo that I beat. Who was it? Who was I fighting? Rin. Okay. Right, that is that. And now we're going to update to 1092, 192, and lovely jubbly. Okay. I think I'll call it a night for day 44. Back at this again, day 45 on Sunday, and on the menu this week is tomorrow. I'm downloading the I say first Trails game, it's not, Trails of Cold Steel. I'm downloading it at the moment, and so that will be on the menu for Friday and Saturday, and then as I'm playing through that, because that's going to take a while, I'll be getting a controller pack. So then after that, and between that and East 1 and 2, we are making the first yearly pilgrimage to Mystical Ninja, because I will die on my gravestone will be play this game. But anyway, yeah, so I'll call that for a day. I hope you've all had a fabulous time, and you have a fabulous morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you is in the world today. Nothing else to say, I guess, but I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!